Today, one of the things that we're going to continue to grow this mastermind. I want to mastermind the mastermind. Today, one of the things that we're going to continue to grow this mastermind. I hope you got what I need to get us all really is on a text, because I can text you faster. What I tell you, there's Brandy. I knew she'd be here. She doesn't miss. Well, let me ask you a question. I want to mastermind the mastermind for just a moment, okay? Because as we grow in this and as we get bigger and stronger, I want you guys to help develop this as we're going along. And at in my organization at EXP, I really have some strong communication with the close to 60 people that I have, okay? And the way I communicate with them is through WhatsApp. We share ideas, we share this, we share that. We make sure every time we have a question, we put it in there and everybody comes to the rescue. Are you okay with right now us communicating during the week if we need to communicate with each other through WhatsApp? If I put us all on a WhatsApp thread, would that be okay with all of you? Does anybody object? Does anybody have a challenge with that? Okay. And then I would be okay. Good. Thank you, Judith. I appreciate that.
I'm good with it.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I'm fine too.
Yeah, I have found that it works really well. Like I said, I have close to 60 people. And boy, some of them communicate, some of them don't, but the communication that does come through is really good. And so I'm going to put us all on a WhatsApp so that if I have something I want to say, or if I have an encouraging word for you, or if I have a phrase or I have a quote for the day, I want to be able to send it out to you and have that that bit of communication. Is that good? I hope that's good. Okay. So
I like it.
Good. Okay. So Dave, let's make that happen. Okay.
Yes, Rob, all good.
Okay. You can give me a thumbs up if you want to. I mean, you know that. All right. Okay. So now let me say the second thing. And I appreciate all of you being on here, because there are some things I really want to mastermind with you that I think is not done well, because I hear it so many times of people needing this. And so I want to get 3 or 4 or 5 subjects that you want to mastermind around, that you are having. And I'm gonna give you a couple of examples that I have, okay? Because this is not a lecture. This is not a class. This is us helping to build our business, help us to get more transactions than what we had before, okay? And again, I appreciate yesterday. I hope you got that I sent out, that I was not able to do the accountability part yesterday. I had to go get a echo something on my heart.
Echocardiogram.
There it is. It's pretty cool, man. I mean, it's like an ultrasound, and I was able to see my heart. That's crazy. Has anybody here ever seen their heart? And I got to see the blood flowing through the heart. That's a good thing, man. As long as the blood's flowing, I think it's a good thing. And then today I had to go get the dye sent through my arteries and through the heart. And that was pretty crazy. Has anybody ever had dye sent into them? You have, Simon? What'd you say, Brandy?
When I worked as an athletic trainer, my athletes had it done for shoulder MRIs.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I mean, and they gave me, I've never had this. I know I'm just reminiscing for a moment, but it's crazy. Nitroglycerin. I had to put that under my tongue. And that was weird, man, because it was, I'm telling you, man, it was, anyway, I guess they'll let me know. I've found out about 2 years ago, year and a half ago, I got 45% blockage in my widowmaker. I've got 30% blockage in the next one, and I'm okay with the other 2 arteries. So I kind of make my doctor let me check it every couple of years and see if anything's changed. I mean, I don't know why people don't do that. Anyway, back to our mastermind. I'm going to give you a couple of suggestions, and then I want to hear from you. What is it in your business that we can help you that will take you to another level? I'm going to give you two things that I've got down here that I have heard from my group and from other groups that never got it right. Now, when I was at Keller Williams, we called these, and in the MREA book, we called these 8x8, 36 touches, or 12 directs. And here's what I wanted to say to you. Do you have a great drip system for your database? One that you know that is just constant. It's just going out every month or every other week or that kind of thing. It prompts you to do calls. It prompts you to do this. It prompts you to do that. And maybe you do. And you could be able to share that with us. And that's what this mastermind's all about. But if I know ahead of time, because I know people that have some good ones, but they don't have it complete. They have some drip campaigns, but it's just not effective. And it's not, they cannot pinpoint where that they have grown from 10 transactions or 20 transactions to 30 transactions out of their database because of their drip campaign and the things that they do for that. So I'd like to mastermind around what we could do as a group here. And you may have suggestions, and then I'm going to get other suggestions from other people and bring back to you. Okay, I hope that's a good thing. Number two, and that I thought about, I've had a lot of people ask me about pre-listing packages. Pre-listing packages. What do you put in them? How do you deliver them? What do you do with that? How do you do with that? And so what's inside of a pre-listing package? And so I think that's a good discussion also, is finding out what are some of those things that we can do. And one last thing, if you ever get into expired, okay, you might say, oh, no expireds. If you get into expireds, what can you deliver to an expired doorstep to be able to call them? I used to deliver a package every morning to the expireds. And I can tell you, that's what got me to listing 8 or 9 expireds a month for 8 years straight. Okay. So I've got all these thoughts and these ideas for us to mastermind around, and I'm going to bring in special guests. I'll let you know when I do so that you can make sure that you're here. I'm going to bring in all different kind of things. Might be social media. You know, I was talking to a person today that's in social media big time. And they said so many people know how to maybe go on and post things on Instagram or post, but they don't know how to convert them to leads. They don't know how to convert those to leads. They might get the opportunity, but they don't know how to convert the opportunity into actual leads. So I think that would be a great mastermind. It might be a 2 or 3 week mastermind till we can get, because many of us are inquisitive. Is that the right word? Inquisitive about AI and social media and that kind of stuff. Okay. Even if we're old fashioned like me, okay, get back out there and door knock, get back out there and do this, get back out there and do that. Still, all the people that are door knocking, all the people that are calling and expireds and for sub owners and geographic areas and database and that kind of stuff, still, they desire to know about AI and social media and those type of things and how to get leads from that. So I've got that written down, you know, to have that as a mastermind also. Because what I want to do is get about 2 months or 3 months ahead, so I could give you the subjects and possibly who's going to be coming to those masterminds to be able to give us some greater insight.
Yeah.
Is that good? Yes.
Yes.
You know, I'll give you, what's it? Boom. Yeah. Okay. I'm already AI. If I need to help you with that, how to do that, I'll help you. Don't worry about it. Okay. So those are my thoughts. Now I need a few of your thoughts. Tell me, what are you looking to, what would you like to mastermind around? What would you like to know a little bit more about, and we could all do it together? Think about your business.
I guess I
What
have
would-
one, Rob.
Go ahead, Judith.
So I did the breakthrough, the 16-week breakthrough.
Yeah,
One of the things that we talked a lot about is that we should always have someone to call, every day. You should have enough people to have those 10 conversations with. I have a very hard time getting to 10 conversations. Thank you for supporting me. And, so I guess my questions are, other than door knocking and calling expireds, which I've done both and I do both. What else can we do, to fill it in? I mean, for example, today I had a 9 o'clock appointment. I had an 11:30 appointment. I'm on this call and my next thing is at 4 o'clock. But if I don't keep prospecting, I'm not gonna have anything next month. So how can you weave in these 10 conversations a day and who to call?
Okay.
Those are my questions.
Perfect. The who is the who, right? Okay. Shannon, what are your thoughts on and Judith, think of more if you want to think of more also. What is it in the business that could take you up a little bit more? Go ahead, Shannon. What do you think?
So I'm struggling with taking all the knowledge, creating it into a usable SOP and executing it, whether it's my task or my VA's task or somehow other delegation. But so I have a full-time job as a psychologist also. So trying to manage all of this is a lot. So I'm trying to figure out all my systems, and I just keep going to classes, getting more knowledge, and all that knowledge is like lost and not turned into an SOP of some form.
Okay, that's an interesting one, because something, a lot of people, and I've heard that a lot lately. It's very interesting that you bring that up. I mean, I need a system. I need a system for this. I need a system for that. I need a system. And if I had a system, then I could just work the system. Absolutely.
Yeah, I need a system to organize my systems and then create the systems I organized. I mean, it doesn't seem hard.
One of the things that back in the 90s, Mike Ferry taught me this. Mike Ferry always said that if you have the right systems for each area that you are lead generating in, if you have the right systems, that you never have to worry about or have goals, Harley, or worry about an appointment, or worry about listings, or worry about sales. He says, if you just wake up every morning and work the system, the listings and the sales will come. He says, don't worry about, oh, I got to get a listing today, or I got to get a sale today. Those will come if you just wake up every morning and turn on the systems. And I did that. I mean, I was a systematic, and I didn't have anybody interesting enough. I don't know why I was able to do it, but I was able to wake up every morning and just work the systems that I wanted to work. And I never worried about listings or sales. And I listed, 18 houses a month. I mean, so, okay. Yeah, good stuff. Somebody else. Simon's coming in. I can feel it. Somebody else. Come on,
I
Mike.
think I would say if we could mastermind, sometimes I find trouble having the discipline to do, to stick to my schedule, the time blocking, and I guess motivating myself. That would be good if we could get help with that, or some others may need that. I know I do sometimes.
Good. That digs into a little bit of the mindset stuff.
Yeah.
That's, and we all could use that, right? Because it wouldn't everybody agree on here that most everything we do is about mindset?
Mhm.
Yes.
I
You
agree.
know, you think about all this masterminding that we're going to do and all these subjects that we are doing, it's about having sometimes the right mindset to be able to do it. I mean, I lead generated from 10 to 2 every single day for 8 years straight, 5 days a week. But I had the mindset, I wasn't going to take a listing. I wasn't going to do a sale. I wasn't going to do anybody. Nobody's going to stop me from lead generating from 10 to 2. That's a mindset. That's a discipline. That is you know, nobody hardly does that anymore. They get thrown off too much. Now, again, minded, I didn't have this.
Mhm.
Okay. I didn't have this whenever I was lead generating. I had a landline. And so I did have a phone, don't get me wrong. It was one of those white phones. I don't know if you guys are old enough, anybody's old enough, and had an antenna about that long all the way up into the air. And that was my first one. And then a bag phone was my second one. And it cost me $800 to $1,000 a month for my cell phone. I mean, so people that whine about cell phones now, I don't even talk to them. Mike, what do you think? And Brandy, what do you think? A couple of masterminding thoughts. What can we mastermind on?
I mean, I think everybody has well, I mean, all these issues, I've got the same struggles. I think probably a big one for me is buyers. I've probably done 2 buyer agency agreements, and the second one was like 2 weeks ago, and I've been doing this for almost 20 years. So, but it's gotten me into trouble because I sometimes I don't know, like once or twice a year, I sell a house for free, basically, or I don't get paid. And, just tightening up that buyer process.
Good stuff. Well, and you know something, in thinking about what you're saying, and maybe I need to do a little bit of homework on it or get somebody to come in here because, they still have that kind of lawsuit type thing going out there, about the buyer agency agreements and that kind of stuff about is the seller going to pay? Man, I am so sorry. I cannot stop coughing. The buyer, is the seller going to pay the buyer's commission? All that. That's still in turmoil out there right now. And so I think that, my gosh, I haven't had this all day, this coughing thing. That's still in turmoil out there. And so, Mike, I mean, I think it's a good mastermind, but it's also a good mastermind to dated news on that effect, because the whole scoop about it is that they're going to do away with buyer agency agreements. And because again, the sellers are not going to pay. All right. And so anyway, that's going to be a very interesting thing as it's coming down. Haven't heard a lot of it lately, but I heard a lot of it there for a while. Hey, Pamela. Hey, listen, what we're doing right now, good to see you.
Good to see
Love the horses in the back. We're talking about our future here and the things we want to mastermind around. Okay. And right now we have some things like, drip campaigns. We don't have a real good handle on that. Pre-listing packages, social media, of course, how do we we're posting, but we're not getting leads from it. How do we get the leads? How do we get that out of there to convert those things to leads? 10 conversations a day. We took the AB class, right? And our homework assignment was 10 conversations a day. And, so the question is, dang, man, who we call? How do we get these 10 conversations? I mean, how does that all work? I love it. And then, Shannon was bringing up and which is so tough sometimes, is figuring out the systems. Everybody wants a system. If I just had the system, And so I think that's something to hone in. And by the way, I think that one right there also could be 2 or 3 masterminds, meaning that, okay, we get an SOP for this, but what about this? No, wait a minute, what about this one? And so I think there's some things there to it. Mindset, everything's about mindset, and we need some of that. The buyer process or the buyer agency agreements, and what that looks like. So do you or Brandy or anybody else, do you have any more thoughts on maybe a couple of more? Okay, Mike, thanks for raising your hand. Pop another one for us.
So before EXP, I had a small brokerage, and we always shied away from part-time agents just because it's hard to do that as a small brokerage. But I kind of had this thought the other day, and it's basically team building. And I was thinking about how this sounds whiny, but sometimes I just don't want to go out at night or have, my whole weekend chewed up after, putting in like a real solid week too. So I was thinking, a lot of times the part-time agents, though, that's when they're available. So I've just been trying to brainstorm myself over like how to maybe add value to someone who can't do real estate during the day, but is available at night and on the weekends, kind of, that sort of structure. So I don't know if that has a place here or not, but.
Now, is that more of our attraction in action? Is that more building your organization? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I guess I let in with the team thing just because I guess it's not entirely relevant. So
Well, are you looking to build your personal team or EXP's organization under you?
My personal team. So I guess looking at ways to maybe work with other agents who are newer in the business.
That's great. Got it.
Something like that.
Okay, so building your personal team with possible new agents and part-time agents.
Right.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So because I'm thinking like with the mentoring, I guess I kind of just go back to the idea that they are oftentimes available to do the work during times that I don't want to be available. So not just to offload it all the time, but and then at the same time, I might be available during the middle of the day.
Well, no, hey,
see something too.
If you guys haven't read this, you need to read it. I think I've showed this to you. If I haven't, you need to read this book. Every one of us, as we are doing this mastermind, this is really what we should aim for. Who, not how. I was interviewing a lady yesterday, and she was Dan Sullivan is the name. She does about 11, 12 deals with another company. I'm trying to bring her over with me. And she was just proud. Man, I do everything myself, everything from beginning to end, all the way. Man, I take the personal touch. Now, I don't know if that's you. It might be. But I also told, as we discussed it, I said, that could be she wants to do about 25, 30 deals. I said, but that's what could be holding you back is you're doing everything. Somewhere you got to become a manager. Somewhere you got to find the who and not how, and that kind of thing. And so she started understanding it a little bit, and we started discussing it some. But again, I am a big believer in this. And it goes back to what you're saying, Mike. You work hard during the week and you don't want to work in the evening. Sometimes you don't want to work on the weekends. That's okay to go hire those part-time people or hire for your team and have a couple of buyer agents or showing agents or stuff like that and say, hey, you could go do this in the evening. You could go do this. I know people, they don't do open houses at all. They'll go list, but they got somebody else that does their open house. By the way, just so you know, this guy practiced what he preaches. He had the content, but he didn't write the book. He had somebody else write the book, and put the book together and all that kind of stuff. So again, it is sometimes finding the who and not the how. Get clear, Rob. Okay, I like that. I like that. I'm going to put down here finding the who. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need a couple more. Who's got something? What else you got? Think about it. What is it that you, I mean, again, let me ask you this question then. I mean,
Rob,
yeah, please, Pamela.
now is part of this accountability where people are showing up in the mastermind for accountability? Would that be appropriate to have here?
To,
Telling your wins, each person. I don't know. I don't know how you have it
you
structured.
know, I like that. I like that.
So we're not just showing up listening, but
No, I
bringing-
like that.
okay.
You know, to give our wins and
Mhm.
stuff like that. Yeah. You know, no, I do like that. I think that's something that we should have whenever we come here and that kind of stuff. That could show up also on Monday, the 30 minutes we have on Monday for accountability.
Okay.
That could show up there because if you guys, if you do your numbers and you do your business plan, I mean, if you don't have that, send it over into the chat that you don't if you don't have your ETA, you know, that we discussed in accelerated breakthrough, if you don't have the listings needed formula and the tracker, then let me know so that I could get it to you, because you should be filling it out every week. And then I'm able to give that, you know, on Mondays at what time?
11? 11 on the West Coast.
One 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
So
For 30 minutes.
Eastern time.
2 Eastern. 2 Eastern. And so again, that would, we spend 30 minutes right there. And that's where we could say, hey, what'd you do this past week? What did you do? What did you do? Let's do that. I like that. I wasn't going to do that on that day, but I was just going to beat you up on that day. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And I may get a little bit of that in also.
Give them the wins. Give them the
Give
wins.
us the wins. Give us the wins. Okay. Anything else right now? If not, I've got a few things I want to talk to you about for the next 15 minutes and let you talk to me about it also. You know, anybody else got a subject or anything? Let me ask you a question before I go into
I do,
what
Rob,
was
but come back to me in a minute. I'm at a car wash. Give me a minute.
at the car. Isn't that a song?
Yeah, I think that's 1980s.
I think it's an old song, but I think it is a song. Okay. Do you guys door knock anymore?
I did for a while.
I got to tell you something, and I'm bringing some up old-fashioned stuff, okay? I got 2 or 3 or 4 people in my group, my organization, that they door knock like crazy. Now they go in twos, but they go door knock like nobody's business. And I got to tell you something. They've been getting at least one listing a week from door knocking. From door knocking, at least one listing a week.
What are they saying when they go? Do you know?
That's a good question. Why don't I bring them on here sometime if you're interested?
I am. I mean, I door knock when I have listings and I do circle prospecting, and mostly I go invite people to my open houses and stuff like that. And I've met people that come by. I haven't really ever got anything from it other than them coming to my open house.
These people have absolutely made a living out of it. I mean, it's incredible. I didn't even coach them in that. They went out and did it themselves. And I thought it was it's wonderful. They're not stopping. I just got a text on our WhatsApp about Pamela. We're going to put everybody on a WhatsApp here for communication wise. On our WhatsApp communication, they said we went door knocking. 2 of them went door knocking up in Maryland, and the people had already figured who they wanted. And because these two ladies door knocked and they let them in and talked to them, they gave them the listing
That's cool.
right then. And
I
so,
would love to know what they say.
yeah, and I got to tell you, they make it a. Let me go back to Shannon's thought. They make it a system.
Right,
You know, it's not just going and knocking on doors.
right.
They are bringing something, or they do some things, or I mean, it's a big deal. But guess what? It's a big prize,
It works. Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Everything works. Remember that. Everything does. It's just how you operate and how you want to operate. Okay.
That is
I
true.
think-
I agree.
Rob, I think on my end, it's kind of piggybacking off what she was saying in the sense of we don't always do the door knocking for an open house or anything like that, but it's at the open house trying to weed through who's kind of telling truths and who isn't, because you know how these people just come in and say, oh yeah, I already have an agent. Trying to pick up better conversation to try and figure out who actually may need more help in the sense of agent representation instead of just the flat out looky loos. Like, I mean, you can tell who a neighbor is, you know, because you see them walk from across the street and everything that way. But trying to find better ways to try and gain their business. As you know, I can only do buyers. I'm not allowed to do sellers at this point because that's what the team leader says. So for me, looking for listings, it's kind of harder in that sense.
Right.
But kind of trying to get the other area of buyers and being able to, and then to add to that is he signed us up for Redfin, and you know, between Redfin, Realtor, Zillow, they call in and they just want to see a place, and we're door openers, which we're trying not to do. But then you look at Redfin and Redfin says no, that's what you need to do. So trying to find a way to get these people to meet before to kind of go over a buying process at least before even showing them a house.
Yeah. No, I really like that. And I think there's something to that. Okay. I really do. And I like what you guys are saying. Okay. I might have these people come on and talk to you about door knocking. I got to tell you, one of the ladies in my organization just capped, and it's been about maybe 6 months, and she just capped. But you know what she does? And this is a little bit about what we talked about. So videos on social media. She's a video maniac.
Mm.
I mean, I tell you, I've never seen anything like it. She's wonderful on there. She does a lot of things with the videos. And I'm telling you, she gets leads like nobody's business. And there's something to that. Shannon, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I do a lot of videos, but like you said earlier, I haven't figured out how to convert them into actually being leads, but I post like one a day. I have a full-time video editor, and that helped because it got me out of my head, because then I just film and I send it to him and he can cut things out. He can put, like, if my top is pooching weird, he puts like a sticker there and he just makes it all work. And so I don't have to overthink it. And I went from being the biggest petrified, nervous wreck I mean, I came from an entertainment family, but I am a behind the scenes girl. And so to be in front of the camera, like, scared the bejesus out of me. And having an editor, it just, boom, done. It's like, it changes the game. So just 2 cents.
No, and I'll say this to you again. They can cost a lot and they don't have to cost a lot. Okay. I mean, I will say this. I don't know who is your video. Where do you get them? Where did you get yours?
I have a VA program that I created through the source that I get my VAs so that I can have them for my team and for other people. So mine all come from the Philippines. And
Absolutely. There you go, Day. You hear it? Philippines, Day. Yeah, Day's on here. She's mine. But again, no, absolutely. If you want it done well, and I'm gonna say, well, they know what they're doing, and cheaper than what you could ever do in the States.
Oh yeah, he's full time and I don't pay that much.
Right. Exactly. And watch this. And I'll say it in front of Day. It's a lot to them sometimes, though. What we don't think is a lot to them. And so But again, I appreciate you saying that. Maybe that's something that we need to have a conversation about also, mastermind, around VAs and what they could do for you and how to get them and that kind of stuff. They might be able to help us with that also. She has found me 2 or 3 people, and so she may be able to help us with that. So
Yeah. Even as a part-time agent, I can't talk about actual transactions, but I can talk about every coursework and every additional asset you can have because I've invested in it all.
What about, I got another subject, dadgummit, before I get to what I want to say. What about branding? You know,
What?
branding yourself.
Oh, Brandon.
Brand, yeah, not brand. Do you think I was calling on you?
Yes, I did.
Why don't we mastermind Brandy? You know, Brandy Ross here. Okay, no, branding. How does that sound? Good. That's a good subject for one of our
That's good.
masterminds. I can tell you
Definitely.
who's really, yeah, I tell you who's really good at it is Day on here. She is really good about branding and what to do and what to say and how to do it and that kind of thing. So we may have her and a couple of other people to be on here with you. Okay. Okay, good.
Because I've been trying to talk to just even my mom about ways to get a better branding for me. Because like one of my friends is in real estate down in Arizona, and her thing is buy and sell with Kel because her name is Kelly. So it's trying to find clever ways just to brand something, and I think that's a great idea.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I've got a couple of months for us. And
Mhm.
now I can even invite people to come and be part of this with us, experts in their field, right? And we can certainly mastermind around it and talk around it. Okay. So thank you for that. Now, what I want to say before we leave out of here in the next 5 or 6, 7 minutes, and if you have anything to say, feel free to comment or to give your thoughts on anything. What I want to say is there is a big positioning battle out here. And it's a positioning, and it's the battle of the mind for our database. I want you to think of everybody with the capacity in their brain, your capacity in your brain for a moment. You only have so much capacity, right? You can only think so much. You can only comprehend so much and then spit it out. We could take in a whole lot, but we may not be able to spit it all out. But there's a battle out here for the mindset. There's a battle out here for positioning inside of somebody's brain. And as we go through all of this stuff that we're going through, and that's what, that's why I wanted to mastermind, not today now, about, drip campaigns or, what Keller Williams called an 8x8 or a 36 touch or something on that line, and getting really good stuff, good things. And I want you to think about that a little bit for next week. But there's a great positioning of a battle of the mindset and the mind capacity in our database people. Because again, I've always said, let me have your database right here in front of everybody. And all I'm going to do is give them a call right in front of you and in front of your peers right here. And I'm going to say, hi, how you doing? My name is Rob Daniel. I'm doing a real estate survey. Who's your real estate agent? And see, the question is, will even your core people say your name immediately? Or will they say somebody else's name and yours? They usually only give 2. They usually can only have a mental lapse. Once you get past 2, you have to stop and really think about it for a moment. I mean, I've always used this, and you probably heard me use it before if you were in any of my AB class. If I say potato chip, what's the number 1 company?
Lay's.
Yeah, Lay's, right? What's another one?
Wise.
Okay, Wise. But again, you're having to think a little bit more. Okay, if I say toothpaste,
Colgate.
Colgate.
Mhm.
What's the second one?
Crest.
Crest. But you have to think if there's a third one. And if anybody in here says AIM, it's because your grandparents used it. Okay. Now, again, or Sensodyne, that's because your dentist told you you needed to use it, right? You have to think about it. If I say tissue,
Kleenex,
number one company.
Cottonelle,
Boom. What's the second one?
Puffs.
Puffs.
soft something or other.
Soft something or other.
I can't remember the whole name.
Right. Exactly. But you can remember Kleenex and Puffs. If people cannot remember 4 or 5 potato chip companies or tissue companies, how much more are they not going to know a real estate agent? Does that make sense? I mean, again, if you are not taking care of that database, or maybe a neighborhood or whatever it is that you are looking for and wanting to get business out of it, you've got to be inside of their mind. And if you want to be one, you've got to really be inside of them. So what are you doing to be inside of their heads? You've got a database full of people that cannot say your name right off the bat. Who's your realtor? I know she has red hair. Yeah, it's kind of long red hair, a little curly, right? They might have some kind of he's got bald head, and got a nice smile. No, they got to be able to say Pamela, Shannon, Simon, Michael, Judy, Brandy, Rob. They got to be able to say it just like that. How much money are you losing because they're not able to say your name like that? How much money did you lose out of your database this past year because your database can't say your name even in the top 2? And I can tell you that is such a mindset thing and such a brain thing. A couple of other things right here is this. People will tend to limit what they remember. And they in the battle for real estate, though, consumer, you're either going to be first or you're going to be second, or you're out of contention. You either are going to be first or second. Now, I could tell you this now, if you really will take what I'm saying and you go and apply it to your database, you'll get 3 or 4 or 5 more deals this year. Because there's just people there that don't know you. They know you kind of, but they don't know you. And that's what we're going to get. That's what we're going to work on in this mastermind also, is to get your database to know you. That's what the drip campaign should be like. That's what some of these things. And I'm not saying you should be sending out fall back, go forward with the time stuff, how to cut your grass this year, how to trim your flower bed, that kind of thing. Again, I think there's probably still a place for that in the world. But at the same time, because I don't know, I mean, I might like a postcard from one of you to tell me, what do we got spring forward right now, coming up? I think in March, right? And in a week or 2, something like that. I mean, so I might like that. You might want to think about that. So I think there's things, that you need to do to be able to play in their minds and play and it's all about that numbers game. So tell me what you think about what I just said. Am I on track? What do you think about that?
I think you are.
You do?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of past clients and I get referrals from them. I just wonder how many I'm missing out on from not being consistent about following up.
That's the way to think, Judy.
With the database. I don't mean like follow up when someone calls.
Right. But that's the way to think. The way you're thinking whenever you just said what I just said to you is, dang, how much money am I losing by not just letting them remember who I am and keeping me in front of their face? Shop at real estate. You're probably not going to start with that deal, right? I thought that was somebody talking. I thought that Simon was talking here. Was that me talking?
No, somebody sent me a text.
Oh, okay. Okay. Anything else before we head out of here? Guys, I've got some great stuff here, and I'm going to put it together in a system, Shannon, and be able to put it out to you. Well, WhatsApp, I think, will really do us well, because that will help us communicate during the week a little bit better. Okay.
So
All right, guys. Yep,
what-
Pam.
or maybe creating a farm or what to put out to a farm.
And I love, again, you could tell people that are a little bit old fashioned, because very rare do you hear it called a farming area anymore, right?
Well, you had to point that out, right?
Well, hey, I say it all the time. You know, I think they call it a geographic area now, right?
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
it's a
Well, there-
geographic area. But you know, but if you think about it, isn't it like farming?
Mhm.
You're going in there and you're tilling the soil, you're digging, you're putting some seeds out. You gotta keep the weeds out of there, and that would be other realtors, right? So yeah, I like it. I really do like it. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for your time. I will see you next Monday for 30 minutes for accountability. Okay.
Got it.
All right. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.